Hi everyone, and welcome to Jab and Move with your host Stephen. And I wanted to go through the huge fight that happened last November with the women's boxing, which was Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Reason I want to revisit that is because I've watched it a couple of times since, and I've heard a lot of it since, and it only came back up on a recent channel I was watching previously about obviously who would go next and what they would do moving forward. And to be honest, I think the second fight was an absolute robbery. I feel that Taylor didn't deserve to win it. She wasn't the better fighter. Amanda Serrano was clearly the better fighter within across the whole 10 rounds, and she deserved to win it. And if it was not with how popular she was with the media and stuff in this country and with certain channels, I think personally we'd be sitting here going, if it's the way around, an absolute robbery, and we'd be all up in arms about it. But we're not, because it's Katie Taylor and she's done huge things for the game, which I absolutely appreciate, and I think it's something she's been phenomenal with the women's boxing and what she's done. But you can't take that into a fight. It's not about legacy. It's about the fight on the day. Legacy means when it comes to fighting, it is what happens on the day against your opponent and in that moment. And honestly, I watched it back, and in the early rounds, Amanda Serrano had the centre of the ring. She had control. She had the power. She was absolutely dominant in the first couple of rounds. Katie Taylor came back a little bit with some nice clean combos and some nice sort of movements and stuff within the third, sort of latter end of the third. But then the next couple of rounds against Serrano just made sure she put her dominance on that fight and had won those initial rounds. Now, as we got into the fight a bit more, and also the one thing I wanted to say about was also Katie Taylor with the head. She used that an awful lot, and she used it 2-3 times. She smacked Serrano cleanly with the head, which I think was ridiculous. She shouldn't be leaning in with the head. But again, when it came through mainstream and stuff, they were like, oh, it's the way she fights, it's her style. It doesn't work. That's great, but that's, for me personally, that is fighting a bit dirty. You shouldn't be doing that, whether you're a little smaller or not. You don't see it with people like Usyk against Fury. He wasn't using his head, and he's smaller. So you don't see that happening in fights, and that's something that I personally don't agree with. But again, looking at it in the later rounds, it was a bit more even. Taylor got a couple of rounds. She was fighting. She was giving absolutely everything. You can never say that about her. Serrano was absolutely giving everything as well. But she did, again, get a point deducted eventually in the 8th round for the use of the head. So looking at all of that, it's a clear victory personally for me for Serrano. I think obviously the media and outlets and stuff in this country and the way they were with her and stuff, I'd say they protected her, but they didn't say anything other than, oh, it was great and the purse was fantastic for the women and they got the most money ever and stuff, and they went on that side. They never spoke about the fight because they said, oh, it was quite close. It wasn't close. It was a clear 2-3 round victory for Serrano, 2-3 point victory for Serrano, and she was absolutely robbed with a unanimous decision to Taylor, which I thought was ridiculous. But let me know your thoughts, guys. What do you think happened with that fight? Again, it's huge for their futures because I think Serrano should be the one on top of the game now, but unfortunately it is still Taylor. And does she retire top of the game? Does she leave the sport now? She's looking at a little more tired than previous fights. I think obviously she's been an awesome amount of fights, so she is starting to wear a bit now. Does she continue, or does she go for her next target? And again with Serrano, she missed out on the bouts this time. Who does she go for next, and what happens moving forward? So let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the fight back in November. Again, personally for me, an absolute robbery for Serrano. I think she unbelievably deserved to win that fight, and it didn't go her way that night. So leave your comments, likes and subscribe, guys. I look forward to hearing from you, and take care.